Today we are going to build end-to-end LLM project called Cold Email Generator using Llama 3.1 open source LLM. We will also use Chromadb vector store, LangChain and Streamlit. Let us first understand the problem that this tool is solving. There are software services companies like TCS, Infosys. I also have this company, Adlic Technologies, and these companies help their clients build software. Clients are like Nike, JP Morgan, Kroger. There are a lot of businesses throughout the globe who want to build software. And these companies have a huge staff of software engineers and they provide their services to these clients. Now, there is a lot of competition in this market, and many times the sales teams from these companies, what they do is they use variety of marketing techniques to bid and to acquire projects. One of the techniques is cold email. So a person from software services companies such as Adlic will send a cold email to a potential client. Now, how do they know if these clients have a specific requirement? One of the techniques that they use is they will go to their potential client's job portal. So let's say I'm on Nike's job portal where they have this requirement for a software engineer in AI ML area. And you will look into all the skills, etc. that they need. And then what Adlic will do or TCS will do is send a cold email saying that, hey, looks like you need a software engineer in AI ML domain. And we have these people. So instead of hiring full-time, maybe you can hire people from us because many times these companies operate in countries like India, Indonesia, where the cost is low. And also clients like Nike don't have to hire full-time employees. They can hire them on contract basis. So there are several benefits of using this model. So Adlic will send this kind of cold email to Nike, and many times this cold emailing techniques work. Now, a sales representative or BDE, Business Development Executive at Adlic or TCS will have to form a nice email which is relevant to the job post. And one of the things that we can use is LLM. Using LLM, we can generate a cold email. So let's say you build this kind of tool where you give a job posting. Okay, and when you submit, it will go to that job post. It will figure out what kind of skills are needed. And based on that, it will write an email which is relevant. So let's say in that job post, they needed a person who has machine learning with Python and DevOps knowledge. See these two. And the email will exactly talk about that profile, that skills. You will also give this kind of portfolio. So this will be like Adlic.com/Python, Adlic.com/DevOps. You will give that portfolio. Portfolio means the past projects that you have done in that area. In terms of technical architecture, we will go to that career page, extract text from that page using LangChain framework. Then we will use LLM, Llama 3.1, to extract job role, job skills, description in a JSON format. Then we give that to Chromadb, which is a vector database. In that vector database, we have previously stored the skills and the relevant portfolios for Adlic company. Okay, so let's say I have stored the skills. For example, for Python, this is my portfolio, www.adlic.com, okay, /Python. So these kind of links are already stored. We will look into it more as we proceed in this particular video. You'll know more. So it will basically find relevant information for this skill set. So if you're talking about React, it will fetch you portfolio links related to React. And then it will give this portfolio link as well as the job description, okay, this JSON. It will give these two things to LLM, and that will generate this kind of nice email. You all probably know that Llama 3.1 is a super amazing open source tool that you can use it for free. Many people download this model locally on their computer and run their inference. Many people also use tools such as Llama And this Llama tool will make certain things easier for you. You can say Llama pull Llama 3.1, Llama run Llama 3.1. That way, it makes things easier for you. Now, we are not going to use locally downloaded model or maybe use Llama, because when I previously used Llama, the inference was very slow. To generate a response, it was taking around 5 minutes. So what we will do is use something called Groq. So Groq is a platform which allows you to run Llama 3.1 in cloud. And the inference is very, very fast because they use something called LPU, language processing unit, that makes the inference, which means when you ask a question, the response will come back up very fast. So go to console.groq.com, either create a login using email or just log in with Google. I have already logged in. I am on a playground. You can type, messages like first person to walk on the moon was, and you can submit. See, you see it was so fast, and it is using Llama 3 8B 8192 model. They support other models too, such as Mixtral, Whisper Large. You can just look into it. They keep on adding new models. We are going to use Llama 370 billion for our project, and for that you need API key. So you will click here, API key, create an API key. Okay, so let's say my project, whatever, just give your project name, submit. And then you have to copy this API key and save it somewhere. This is like a password. It is your own individual API key that you should not be sharing with others. I'm going to delete this key, by the way, so that should be okay. Once this is generated, you will create a folder. So I have created this C code email generator tool. So I have created empty folder, and then I went to that folder and just ran Python. Let me just show you. So I ran Python am notebook or Jupyter notebook, and here I'm going to create a new notebook. I'll probably call it tutorial Groq. I want to test it. Okay, so Chat Groq is a class which LangChain framework offers. You might be aware that LangChain is a framework which makes building LLM application easier. It's an open source module. So you just do pip install LangChain, install it, and then you also install pip install LangChain Groq. So first you install pip install LangChain, then pip install LangChain Groq to install that particular module. And then I'm just going to copy paste this code here. You import Chat Groq class from this module, and then you can use Mixtral, whatever, but I'm going to use Llama 3.1. Okay, so let me use that, and I have put my API key. Once again, I'm going to delete this, but I'm just showing you for demonstration purpose. And simply you call llm.invoke and you ask the question. So this is my question. You store that in response variable, and then response.content. See, it was super fast. It went to Groq Cloud, so you need internet connection, obviously. It asked this question to Llama 3.1 70B model and receive the response. Let me take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Firedux. Is your Pandas program running slow? You can make it faster by installing Firedux, pip install Firedux, and then use the import hook utility where you supply -m option while running your Python program. No code changes required and your program will run super fast. Firedux is a compiler accelerated data frame library fully compatible with Pandas API. It can utilize multiple cores on your computer, and also it has some optimization strategies which will make your program faster. It not only helps you do your data analysis in more efficient way, It will also help environment by reducing CO2 emissions because your compute performance is optimized. Check video description below for FireDux documentation. Okay, let's go back to our video now. As a next step, we need to set up a vector database, and we are going to use Chromadb. There are other solutions such as Pinecone, Milvus, etc. But Chromadb is open source, very lightweight, so we will use that. In case you don't know what exactly is a vector database, then go to YouTube, search for Code Basics Vector Database. Watch this simple 6-minute video. It will explain you what exactly it is. Alright, so I'm on Chromadb website. I will go to documentation, and here to install Chromadb, simply run pip install Chromadb in your command prompt. So let me go to my command prompt, clear this and run this. I have already installed, so it's not gonna do anything. After installation, you will go to getting started guide, and you will write simple code to create a sample collection. So here I will create a new Python 3 notebook, call it tutorial Chromadb, and here import Chromadb dot client. So this is my client, and then client dot create collection. So my collection name is whatever, my collection. So this is a database. In database, I am creating a collection. It's like a table where I can insert my records. So I will call it a collection, control enter, execute it. Then to add documents is nothing but the records or data records that you're adding. So collection dot add, and here documents. Okay, now these documents are usually big text blocks. In our case, since we're testing this thing, we will just provide a simple sentence. So we have provided some simple sentences, and then IDs is equal to ID1, ID2. I will explain you in few seconds why we are not using traditional database, why we are using this spatial vector database. So control enter, so documents are added. Now you can do something called collection.get, and these are all the documents. You can see this way you can get all the documents. You can also get an individual document by ID. You can say collection.get ID is equal to this, and it will give you only ID1. Now here is the most interesting part, why we don't use traditional like MySQL type of database. So here you can make a query. In that you can say query text is equal to, you can say query is about chole bhature. Now you might be wondering what exactly is this. Chole bhature is relevant to Delhi. Okay, in New Delhi, which is the capital of India, people eat chole bhature. So I'm not searching a document by saying New York or Delhi. I'm searching a document by providing a food item that is popular in Delhi. Now that's when this vector database will come in play. It will be able to do semantic search. So it will be able to tie that query to Delhi. The other argument it has is number of results. Okay, and this is results. So look at that. The first document that I got is Delhi, and this is the distance. So the distance of this query and this Delhi document is 1.5, whereas this query and New York document is 1.8, which means New York is 1.8 kilometer away, whereas Delhi is 1.55. It's not actually kilometer, but it's a distance, Euclidean distance. So 1.55 unit away, it is more similar. If I say query is about pizza, then see New York comes first. Not only that, if I say query is about Brooklyn Bridge, then New York comes first. So you can see it is doing a meaning-based semantic search. As a human, if I ask you, okay, this is my query is about Brooklyn Bridge, which document is more near or more related? You will obviously say New York because Brooklyn Bridge is in New York. You can also say, okay, query is about India. See Delhi. Query is about air pollution. I know it hurts, but air pollution in Delhi is higher. See, you can say I have queries about Big Apple. Now Big Apple is New York, but you can see that the words are not exactly matching, but it is doing the semantic search. Now to delete all the documents, you can simply say collection.delete, and then this way it can delete all the documents. You can also add documents with metadata. So I'm just copy pasting same code. The additional thing I have is metadata, which is for New York, I have a Wikipedia page for New York. Okay, so we can add that, and when you ask the same query, it not only returns Delhi, in the metadata it will also return the URL or the Wikipedia link of Delhi. This is useful many times when you are building any LLM tool. LLM will generate an answer, but you want to know which source it is referring to, from where it got that answer. So having this metadata will be useful. We will see more about this as we code more in this project. I created one more notebook called email generator, and there I have written the code for basic LLM. Now I want to go to the website. So let's say Nike has this particular job posting. I want to scrap the data from this website first. If you look at the LangChain documentation, it has this class called web-based loader. What this class will do is it will accept the URL of that job posting, and it will extract data from that. So it's basically web scraping. So let me just copy this code here, and I will copy paste this particular URL, and you can then call loader.load.pop.page content, and that will be your page data, and I will print page data. Now it's doing web scraping, so it will take some time, but you can see that it went to this website. The data will be in HTML format internally. It went through that HTML structure and extracted all this key information. See, apply for software engineer, search job, skip navigation. I mean, you will see some search job, skip navigation. You'll see some unnecessary details as well. Now we will write a prompt for our LLM, for which we will import this prompt template class. Let me first do this thing in ChatGPT. So I will just copy paste some small portion, and I will say that I will give you a job posting. From that, extract the skills, role and description in a JSON format. Okay, and you will say job posting, and you will just copy paste the whole thing. See, I will just copy pasted the whole thing. When you hit enter, ChatGPT will give you this kind of nice JSON object. So this is the object that we want to retrieve. Now you are seeing this thing here is the extracted information in JSON format. This is called preamble. So if you don't want that, right, I just want the JSON object. I don't want here is the extracted information. So let me go here, edit this, no preamble, and hit send. No preamble means don't give me that initial text. See, it just gave me a JSON object. So let me import this particular class here, then create a prompt template from template, and we will store this into a variable called prompt extract, because we are using this for extraction purpose. We will later on use it for email writing purpose as well. And I did some iteration. Sometimes you don't get your prompt right in a very first shot. So after some iterations, I created this nice looking prompt where I'm saying that scrap text from website. This is my page data. Instruction, the scrap text is from careers page, whatever, extract it in JSON format. These are the fields that I need, and no preamble. Now we already have this LLM object. So what we are going to do is use a pipe operation. So prompt extract, let me, I think, close this one. Prompt extract pipe LLM, and this will form your chain. Okay, so this is the LangChain chain. Basically, you are getting a prompt and you are passing it to LLM, and here you can do chain extract dot invoke, where the input is page data. Okay, and this will be this page data here, and I will store it in a response object, print response dot content, control enter. See, it extracted the skills, the role name, experience. So if you look at this page, right, experience, see, 2+ years experience. And this is the power of LLM. It can extract the key information among all the clutter, and these are the skills which are mentioned here. See, AWS Cloud, DevOps. You can just verify those. Now this content that we have is in a text format. So if you do type, see, it is an str. I want to convert this text into a JSON object, for which we can use JSON parser. So this is the class that we are going to use from LangChain, and we will say JSON parser, and then JSON parser dot parse. What do you want to parse? Res dot content. So then this becomes the JSON response. See, now it is a dictionary object. So if you do type JSON or dictionary, I mean, they are same thing. See, it's a dictionary. Now once this step is over, the next step is to prepare Chromadb. So I have this CSV file where I have all the technologies that my company is working on. So Atlic is working on all these companies. Okay, TCS, Infosys, whatever that company is, that will have the capability of all the technologies. And for each technology, they will have some portfolio. Portfolio means, okay, these are the projects that we have done in this particular technology. So if you go to atlic.com, which is a real company, so we have done all these projects. For example, let's say Moon Tower tickets. So if you go there, this is short of our portfolio. Okay, here it explains, okay, who was the client, which tech stack we used, what was the challenges, solution, and so on. So if you go to case studies here, you will see all our clients and projects. So this is basically Atlic's portfolio. Similarly, here I'm using some dummy URL. You can understand this is a learning project. But for each of the technologies, these are the portfolio links, and I need to insert this thing into Chromadb. Then whenever there is a job posting, it should extract the skills from the job, and it will match one or multiple of these technologies, and then it should retrieve these portfolio URLs, which I will use in my email. All right, so I have put that CSV file here, and I'm going to just import that here. So import pandas as PD, and I will create a data frame. So read CSV my portfolio.csv, I think that's the name. And see, I have this in my data frame. Now you will iterate over your data frame, and you will insert those records one by one into Chromadb. So since we have written this code before, I'm going to save you some time. Imported Chromadb instead of client. See, in our sample notebook we use client, correct? When you use client, it will create the Chromadb in memory, but I will use persistent client, so it will create DB on a disk. So in your current folder, see, right now in my current folder there is no folder for Chromadb. When I execute this code, it will create that database, store it in a folder, so that next time when I want to retrieve my data, I have it on the disk. And here I'm saying that if not collection.count means if, let's say, collection doesn't have any count, if it is being created for the first time, then you iterate through all your data frame rows. Folks, this is very, very easy, simple Python code. You're just iterating over data frame rows. And for each of the rows, you are adding collection.add. You are adding a document. Metadata is your link. Okay, metadata is this links, and text tag is your main document. So control enter, and that worked. Okay. So if you look at now your folder, you see this vector store folder is created. So internally, it is storing the data here. You don't need to look at these files. It will be gibberish for you. But this shows that when you use a persistent client, it will create a folder and store your records inside that folder. Now I will do simple collection query. I will say, okay, I need a person with experience in Python, experience in React. And when I do that, see, for the first one, experience in Python, it is bringing these two, which are Python related portfolio. For the second one, it is bringing React portfolio, React Native portfolio. If I do React Native, I think it will still pull. See, React Native came first and then React portfolio. So for each of these experiences, I requested two results and I requested metadata, so which was the portfolio link. Now my job is nothing but JSON response, and in my job, the skills I have is this. So what if we pass all these skills? So for example, if I pass these skills here, just for a demo purpose, then see, for my Nike position, it will give me, for strong computer science fundamental, it is giving this. For Java, Python, Golang, it is, see, Python, it doesn't have Golang. Then for DevOps, it is giving me my DevOps portfolio. So it is working okay. All right, so my links are stored here. Now, the way I created the prompt template for extracting the content out of job posting, I will create another prompt template for forming an email. So once again, I'm not going to type the whole thing because it will waste your time. So here, my prompt template says that this is my job description, whatever we got from Nike website. And the instruction is, you are Mohan, a business development executive at Atlic. Atlic is an AI and software consulting company, whatever. We have expertise, whatever, right? Like usual stuff. Your job is to write a cold email to the client. See, this is where we are giving the clean instruction to LLM, saying that write a cold email to client regarding job mentioned above and add the portfolio links. And whenever you see something in a curly bracket, that is something we will give as an argument to our prompt template. So this link list, okay, this is not a data structure link list, but this is this particular links that you will give in a prompt template. So you're giving two parameters, job description and the link list. And after that, again, usual copy paste stuff. So you are creating a chain of prompt email and LLM, and you are invoking your chain by passing these two parameters, okay, job description and link list. Job description is nothing but the job that we got, right? So job, if you do job, it is the JSON object, the dictionary, and the link list is these links. So when you control enter, look at that. That's my final output. It generated very nice cold email saying that, okay, I came across your job description, blah, blah, blah. We have expertise in AI/ML software development, and you can refer to our portfolio. Our DevOps portfolio is this. Our machine learning portfolio is this. So I will request you to download this code, and I hope you are coding along with me. And just look at the description. Also, folks, very important thing. After 6 months, don't come and say that this code is not working. Which code? This code. Because Nike might take this job posting away. This is very temporary. So what you need to do is let a smart work. Don't do dumb work, okay? Don't just download my notebook and run and say, oh, it's not working. And some people just post it on YouTube comment. Oh, it's not working. You need to provide a job posting which is active, which is something you go copy paste in browser, you are able to access. So make sure you are changing this to some active job posting which is available when you are running this code. So far, we have built the raw building blocks. It's like we are constructing a home and we have built little pieces, And now we will connect all the pieces and create a project structure. In my folder, I will create another folder called app. And in this app folder, I will create a proper project structure. We use IPython notebook or Jupyter notebook for experimentation to create our base, to create our code blocks that we can use in the final project. We have completed that step. Now is the time to create a proper project structure. So I will open this in my PyCharm. So let's go here. And what is the name of our folder? Well, cold email generator, right? This guy. Okay, this window. Perfect. Here, I will add a new file. I will call it main.py. In that, I will create another folder called resource. So remember we had this my portfolio.csv file. We put that into resource. So anytime you have text file, Excel file, images, it's better to put that in a separate folder called resource. Now we will create a basic UI using a Streamlit. So if you have not installed it, just go to your terminal and run pip install Streamlit. Streamlit is a framework that allows you to quickly build UI. Data scientists, AI engineers use this to build very quick prototypes. So import, okay, I will configure my Python interpreter to be this. You can use virtual environment as well. Import Streamlit as st. Then st.title, and I'm saying that URL input is this. So st.title cold email generator. Then I'm adding the text input. I'm saying enter a URL. This is my default value that I'm adding. Okay. Then there is a button, st.button submit. And if submit.button, then st.code. Now you can refer to Streamlit's documentation. It's a very easy, straightforward framework. And what I do is I take help of ChatGPT. I give my requirement, and usually ChatGPT will give you a very nice base, which will save you a lot of time. And then you can make edits into that base code. So hello, hiring manager. I'm just putting some dummy code for now. And then language is markdown. Okay, so let's run this code first. So here you can say Streamlit run. Then we have app folder, correct? And then main.py. So when you run this, you get this kind of UI. When you hit submit, hello hiring manager, I'm from blah blah blah. So my dummy UI with dummy response is ready. Now I can write rest of my classes. So the first class that I want to add is called chains.py. Okay, and in that I will import first of all the necessary modules, and then I will use this load.environment. Now what is this exactly? So you can read the documentation of .environment online. So just say python load.env. We have to install this. Okay, so pip install python.environment, and after you install it, in your root folder, you can have a file called .env. So let me create that file. So here I can create a file, call it .env. In that, you can put your API key. It is a good idea to keep the API key separate from your code. It is never a good idea to put it inside the code, because you can somehow protect this. Okay, so I have put my API key. You need to use your API key, folks. Remember. So when I check in this code to GitHub, I'm gonna remove it. So once again, don't tell me that it is not working. It's not working because you did not put your API key. And whenever you say load.environment, if you want to receive any response, you can do it, or you can just run it. So what this method will do is, it will find .env file, and it will set this as your environment variable. Once your environment variable is set, you can use os.getEnvironment Groq API key to retrieve that particular API key. So if you want to test anything, you can say if name is equal to main, okay, you can say print, let's say I just want to test this, and when you right click and run it, see, it is printing that particular API key. Now I'm going to create a class called chain, and in Python this is how you write the constructor. So self.llm is nothing but the chat Groq object. Remember we created that in our notebook. So I'll go to that notebook, copy paste that thing. My model is Llama 3.1, 70B is 70 billion parameters, and my API key is whatever I got from the environment variable. And then I will write these two functions. These two functions are something that we already wrote in our Jupyter notebook. We wrote this basic code, and now I have converted that into a function. So if you look at it, it's the same code, prompt extract, then you're using JSON parser to parse the response, and you are just returning that response back. And another chain that we had was chain email. Okay, so I had that raw code in my notebook. I took that code, wrote this function, and my class chain is now complete. Similarly, I will create another class called portfolio. So portfolio.py, and here I will read that CSV file and I will do the Chromadb setup. So just to save your learning time, I'm gonna copy paste from my code. So here you are initializing this portfolio class with a file path which is app resource myportfolio.csv. So see, app resource myportfolio.csv. Then you are creating a data frame the same way that we did it before, and you are creating Chromadb persistent client and creating this particular collection. And when you call load portfolio, it will go through that data frame here and it will add those records into collection. And when you do query links, it will just query. I will also add utils.py, where I'm going to add a function which will just clean some text. So if there are any HTML tags, etc. you are getting from a web page, it will clean it up. In our case, when we were doing that notebook, we did not have to do this because it was straightforward. But it is good to have this code because see, all these HTTP tags, all these special characters, multiple spaces, leading and trailing white spaces, it will remove and it will kind of massage your text and make it good looking. And then I went to my main.py file. I put everything in a function. So this code was not in a function, so I created a nice function called create Streamlit app. And when submit button is hit, I'm using that same web-based loader that we used in that notebook. And I'm calling clean text, this clean text function, to clean any unnecessary garbage. Then portfolio.load portfolio will create my Chromadb, and llm.extract jobs function will call this function. So it will create my JSON objects for the jobs and for every job. So see here, let's say if one web page has multiple jobs, then I'm taking care of that possibility. For every job, you will then do portfolio.query links and then call write email function. So in my portfolio, once again, in chains actually, my write email is that same exact code. And in the main function, you are creating chain and portfolio, and then you are just simply calling this particular function. Now here, my app is already running. So what I need to do is go here and click on rerun. So when you rerun, it will kind of reload that code and rerun it. And when you hit submit, it is now going to that Nike's job posting. It is extracting the skills, etc. and it has now created this cold email. So a business development executive at Atlic will just simply copy this and send it to a hiring manager in Nike, saying that if you don't want to hire a person full-time, we are a service provider, software services, AI services, and we will give you the staff at a cheaper cost. And you can just give your sales pitch there. This is a tool, folks, that companies can use for real. Okay, this is the real tool that we have built. Atlic is my company. Like, we have been in business for 4 or 5 years. We have more than 65 employees, and we use this kind of technique. So this tool is useful in my own company. So you can imagine that this project was not some toy project. This is a real project that any software company or any service-based companies can use for their sales purpose. All right, that's it. I'm going to add requirement.txt file here as well. So make sure you install all the necessary dependencies and check the video description. All the code is given. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you have any question, there is a comment box below.